fear of God.
Didn't he say there's like a Tosefta that says that all the books of the prophets were written by Hezekiah's court?
Yeah, I don't know if it says all, like probably most of the books of the prophets. But there's a Tosefta that says that the court of Hezekiah Melech wrote the books of the prophets. Right, which,
so that means like in the timeline, that's when they occurred, or they saying they wrote them in the name of those prophets?
oh, it's not specific. I mean, it just wrote them, I guess. I mean, back then, the books of the prophets were never, well, this is a new idea. I guess this will get people upset a little bit. The Catholic Church invented Tanach. How did the Catholic Church invent Tanach? Obviously, they didn't create the acronym of Tanakh, right? I mean, Torah, Nevi'im, and Ketuvim. No, they were the first ones. The Romans were the first ones to ever utilize the idea of a codex for religious writings. Meaning, Jews traditionally had a scroll, right? While the Romans developed something identical to what we have in our books today. You combine a book and that you could flip through them, like instead of having to scroll through them. I mean, it's much more convenient than using a Torah scroll, by the way. So, being that they did glorify our writings alongside with their New Testament, they combined them all in one book. Just because their central book was the New Testament, they put what chronologically came before, to give you a timeline to when Jesus supposedly appeared on the scene. What the Jews did later, much, much later on, was take what the Catholics essentially called the Old Testament and present it in a Jewish version. So the Old Testament gave birth to Tanakh, because even if you walk into any synagogue today, you have a Torah scroll, and then there's everything else, right? People read from the Torah scroll, and if you're Sephardi, you have a separate scroll for the prophets. If you're Ashkenazi, that you could read it from a regular Chumash, or like a stone Tanakh. So the idea that we're going to combine these books together has always been a problem in Judaism. This is why when someone puts together a bookshelf, according to Jewish law, Torah scrolls or Humashim that have to be like on the higher shelf. That means the Torah has to be on the higher shelf and everything is below that. Lest somebody think that the other books are on the same level of the Torah, which means just having a Tanakh nowadays and placing it upside down would get you to violate that halakha. This is why traditionally Jews would never have combined it like that. So this is the problem. Who cares what appears in the prophets? Who cares what appears in the writing? They're there to strengthen your walk with God, but they're not there to give you further revelation, because prophets can't introduce anything new. This is why Muhammad's not a prophet. This is why Jesus is not a prophet. I mean, assuming Jesus endorsed the New Testament, I mean, I don't even believe that. Our prophecy, our progressive revelation prophetically ended at the end of the book of Deuteronomy.
Okay, very interesting, very interesting.